Welcome, explorers. Today, from the sandy stretches of St. Owen's Beach, we embark on a special journey to explore the wonders of our oceans and the expanse of space. From way up in space, Earth looks like a big blue floating marble because 71% is ocean. Deep sea and outer space are mysterious places. With cool new technologies, who knows what awesome things we'll discover next. Right now, we're zooming in to Jersey, an island with some of the most fascinating geological and tidal features on Earth. Today, we're joined by a very special guest, NASA astronaut Nicole Stott, who has not only seen our planet from space, but has also explored the depths of our oceans. Nicole will share how technologies developed for space are helping us protect our crucial marine environments.
Hello and a very big welcome to our World Ocean Day live stream. I'm Hannah and I am so excited to be guiding you through our event today. It's going to be incredible. We are here at the northern end of St. Owen's Bay near Latac. It's absolutely beautiful and we have some incredible guests with some amazing stories to share. Now, we really want you to be part of the conversation today, so do get in touch with us. I'm sure that you've got loads of questions and you can do that online and you can put your questions to any of our guests that we speak to today. So what you need to do is you need to go to Slido and use the hashtag WODJersey. You can ask any question you want. Don't forget to tell us who you are, and then we'll put as many questions as we can to them at the end of the show. If we don't get through all of them, we promise our experts will get back to you. Right, should we get going? Come with me. Come and meet our guests. We have got a real-life NASA astronaut all the way from the USA with us. Her name is Nicole Stott, and we've also got a wrangler. She's known as an astronaut wrangler. We'll find out what that is shortly, and her name is Christina Corp. Great to see you, ladies. You've been in Jersey all week, so how's it been? Tell us.
It's been just like this, fantastic, the whole week. We love it. It's wonderful.
And you've been working with children and having an amazing time down here at St. Owen's.
Yes. Yeah.
So can I ask you first of all, what is it like being in space, looking down at all the oceans?
It is a blessing to have that perspective, very special vantage point. And you discover very quickly, like, oh my gosh, we live on a planet, an ocean planet, which is why I'm so happy that we're surrounded here today by the ocean. And it's stunning, overwhelmingly beautiful. All the colors you know Earth to be, just glowing against the blackest black you can imagine. And I think it's this reminder that we do live on a planet and how we should be behaving like crewmates and not passengers here on our planetary spaceship.
Could you spot Jersey from up there?
If I had a good zoom lens on, I could. And I did look for the little islands in the UK. My husband's actually from the Isle of Man. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah. Amazing. So tell us, what is the coolest thing that you have learnt about space and our planet?
Well, I think it is that just like that machine we have in space, where every morning we wake up and behave so purposefully like crewmates, we need to do this same thing down here on our planetary spaceship. And I think that is the underlying thing. Like, oh my gosh, we live on a planet. We're all Earthlings. Only border that matters, that thin blue line of atmosphere, and that we absolutely need to accept our role as crewmates and not passengers.
It must bring a very special perspective seeing it from that distance.
It does.
The Earth.
It absolutely does. And there's no denying the planet thing, but there's this sense of interconnectivity like I've never experienced before. But then coming back to Earth, I realized I can come out to a beach like this. I can look out to the horizon of the ocean and realize, man, it just like wraps around the planet, and we need to consider this awesomeness, this wonder around us every day.
So something that Nicole did is that she actually painted the very first watercolour in space. I can't even imagine how you did that with all of the water floating everywhere. Tell us, how did that go? I think we've got some visuals of that actually as well.
We have one picture of painting in space. It was, I wish I would have had these guys with me to videotape the whole thing, because I think it would have been a wonderful way to just tell the story of what it's like to be in space, floating, where everything floats, like you said, and where you're dipping your brush into a floating ball of water versus a cup of water, and just watching that whole thing kind of take place, and how everything about it was different than painting on Earth, but not more difficult, just different.
You did a good job. I mean, it turned out well. I don't think I would have achieved that.
It
More
was
splashes,
fun.
I think.
It's like putting the human in human spaceflight,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
a good thing.
Fantastic. Well, Christina, over to you. Now, you are the astronaut wrangler. So what does that actually mean?
Well, it's a title I gave to myself because I used to manage Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin, and people would call me and say, since you're the astronaut whisperer, and I'd say, no, that's not the word, it's wrangling, and other astronauts would say, accurate. So I manage astronauts. Yeah, but no, I don't have to wrangle her, she's awesome. But yeah, so it's just, you know, managing these people who went to space, and it's a pretty cool job I kind of made up for myself.
So you work with them and help them at events and get them to tell their stories?
Yeah, I'm kind of an expert on branding, licensing, but also media appearances, that sort of thing with astronauts.
So I imagine you must have learned a lot about space in your time then working with the astronauts.
Oh, yeah.
And tell us, because we've got some of the largest tides here
Yeah.
in Jersey,
Yeah.
and when it goes out, our island actually doubles in size.
Yeah.
That's the size of the tides. Can you tell us, how does that work? It's all connected to the moon, isn't it?
Sure, and I mean, my whole life has been around moonwalkers, working with Apollo astronauts, so I've learned a lot about the moon. And this is a place on Earth that's really unique in that the way the tides are affected, and a lot of people don't think about space having anything to do with it, but if you think about the way the moon affects the tides, this is a perfect example on planet Earth of where that is more evident than any place else.
And you've been here down on the beach working with the school children in
Yeah.
Jersey. So tell us, what have you been doing and what
Oh,
fun
gosh.
activities?
Well, we love kids. We're big kids. And we like to make space art with kids as a teamwork project where they can be a part of the artwork that we make, but we like to use eco-friendly materials, so we made a big octopus that was an homage to the Ocean Culture Life, their whole mission. And we made it out of seaweed and shells, and then the kids were stars. And we do this all over the world, but we like to make a unique artwork everywhere we go.
It's absolutely beautiful. What kind of response did you get from the children who were involved?
Well, first of all, kids just like to, you know, run and play, and some of the kids were hoping they could lay down in this wet sand.
Yeah.
but
The teacher's like, no, it's early in the day. We can't do that.
No, but I mean, you know, I think, you know, kids naturally just want to play and run and frolic on the beach. So get to do this together with an astronaut is a very special thing that we love to be able to offer.
Just watching that now and seeing the all big stars of the moon and the octopus, it's really beautiful.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much to both of you. I'm sure you've got lots of questions for these two incredible ladies. So get all of your questions in. Remember the hashtag using Slido. We are going to catch up with two of the people from Ocean Culture Life in just a moment, Matt and Tamsin, who've been part of all of this. But first, let's take a look at the work that they're doing around the world.
Every second breath we take comes from the ocean. Yet today our oceans gasp for air, choked by our negligence. Only over 1/10 of our oceans lie testament to what once was, and a hope for what could be. We are Ocean Culture Life, driven by a mission of marrying the art of storytelling with the urgency of ocean conservation, enabled through our storyteller grants. Each narrative, each image, a mirror reflecting both the magic and the plight of our marine world. Our educational workshops and events enlighten many, casting a wide net of knowledge and awareness, constantly expanding our network across the globe, from seasoned ocean protectors to novices with fervor in their eyes, uniting individual voices into a chorus of change. So dive deep with us into our culture, our passion, our very essence of life. Every tale you tell, you share, every echo of your voice holds the power to turn the tide. Stand with Ocean Culture Life, together for a boundless, thriving ocean that we need for every second breath.
Wow, absolutely stunning. Well, let's talk now to Tamsin and to Matt from Ocean Culture Life. Great to see you guys. Thank you so much. What a week it's been.
It's been an incredible week. Had a lot of fun.
It looks like it. So can you tell me, first of all, why do you think it's so important that we give our oceans a voice, really, and we tell that story?
So Hannah, I like to do a little exercise for this.
Yeah,
so what
go
we're
on.
going to do is we're going to take 2 deep breaths. So in and out, and out, and one more time, in and out. And that second breath that you just took comes from the ocean. So it's really, really important that we help to give a voice to the ocean so that we can protect it and protect ourselves.
So those stories are making a difference as we're telling those stories, as you are, as Matt is.
Storytelling is so important. It's how we all learn, it's how we get inspired, and it's how we protect our oceans. So we need loads more storytellers, and that comes in the form of not just photography and film. We've got creative writing, and we can all use our voice to give a voice to the ocean.
So how can the young viewers watching, all the children, all the young people, how can they make a difference? How can they get involved?
Yeah, of course. So we need more local ocean guardians, and on our website you can go and get inspired to see all the amazing people, not just here in Jersey but internationally, that work day in, day out to give a voice to the ocean. And there's loads of ways people can get involved. And for those of you that are creative out there, use your art, use your storytelling, because that's one way that we can all help.
Yeah, and Matt's doing that. You're doing that with your photography as a creative, and you're travelling all over the world. And something you've been doing recently is working with sharks, which is amazing. Tell us, what is it like to actually dive with the sharks, Matt?
I am Hannah, and I just want to say good morning to our Jersey and global ocean community looking in today. Really nice to have you here. How it is to the first experience that I had with sharks really changed my world. It changed my view. I got so close to these big tiger sharks. They came swimming over my head, and I came out the water at that time, and I just said to my friends, that's it, my life has changed forever. It's such a magical experience when you're that close to nature, and you can really do that in the ocean.
I think, though, that people can feel quite scared of sharks. They're misunderstood. So what would you say about that? Can you bust some myths, maybe?
They do feel scared of sharks. I think that a lot of it comes from their parents watching Jaws back in the day, passing on this fear of sharks. But when you understand sharks, you understand that sharks aren't out to... They're not out for humans at all. They're looking for injured fish. They're looking for whales that maybe have died through old age. They're really searching for that, and they can search miles and miles, and they can smell the blood on the fish and the blood on the whales from miles away, but there's no connection with humans at all. Sometimes humans are in the wrong place, but the sharks are incredible creatures, and the more that we share these stories, and the more that we share these stories of people diving with them and understanding their behavior, the more that we can share these positive stories with everybody.
And Matt, you clearly love the ocean, and you're from Jersey.
I do.
And really your love for the ocean started here at St. Juan's Bay. So you travel the world a lot, as we said, but you are here in Jersey quite a lot too. What do you love doing when you're here?
I love Jersey. I mean, look at this bay. This is a beautiful bay. I grew up here as a kid, and I learned how to surf when I was younger, and it always brings me back here. All the places that I travel around the world, I always come back to Jersey because we're very fortunate to live on such a beautiful island. And I just come down and I surf the waves in all my free time.
Is this your board here?
Yeah, this is my board. This is my ocean culture board.
I love it.
This is it.
So nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice. Well, I'm sure everyone's got questions for you too. Grab a seat. We're going to come and talk to you shortly. But
Thank you
now
very
we're
much.
actually going to talk to our final guest. We are talking to Alex, who is just doing incredible work with the oceans and protecting our seas. So can you just tell us, why is that so important to you?
Well, firstly, happy World Oceans Week, everyone. And yeah, exactly that. So the World Oceans Day is really, really important to me, and it should be important to you too. The ocean's not only home to all our marine life, all the fish in the sea, but it also controls our weather and climate on this planet. It offers jobs and food to coastal communities all over the world. And as Tamsin pointed out earlier, every second breath we breathe comes from the sea. So without healthy oceans, we can't have a healthy planet. So I think I'd like to say World Oceans Day is very important, but we really need to protect and celebrate the ocean every single day, and that's what we try to do at Ocean Culture Life.
So what can people do? How can they help? How can they get involved? How can they make a difference?
So there's a few things, there's quite a few things you can do, but I'm going to touch on one specific thing today, and that's plastic pollution, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. But in Jersey, if you're based in Jersey, you probably go for walks on the beach, and we're so fortunate to live on an island where we don't see much plastic with the open eye. But really, if you get down into the sand properly, you'll find so much plastic, and one specific type of plastic is called a nurdle.
Oh wow, it's tiny. Can the camera
Yeah, you
see that?
probably
It's
can't see that.
absolutely minute. But
But-
these are dangerous for us and for the fish.
Exactly, and so this is a type of microplastic, which means it's a tiny piece of plastic less than about 5 millimeters small. And they're kind of used as the building blocks to make other types of plastic. So for example, a water bottle that you might buy in the shops is made of 600 pieces of nurdles.
Wow, okay.
And they get transported all over the world, but when they spill into the ocean or on land, they're obviously polluting our land and our ocean, and fish eat them. So we really need to try and reduce the amount of single-use plastic we're buying, and then secondly try and clean the noodles and the microplastics that we do find on our beach.
But if they're in the sand, they're so tiny. But
Yeah.
we've got this machine here, so
Yes,
there is a solution. Tell us what we can do. We can sieve.
So we can sieve. This is a noodle machine, and this is Plastic Free Jersey's noodle machine. So if you're in Jersey, you can contact them and come use it, check it out yourself. But what you do is firstly you want to go and collect a bucket of sand from the beach, and try find it in an area where you might see other pieces of plastic, maybe up on the shoreline, right at the top where the waves crash. And then you want to put your bucket of sand in the noodle machine.
Oh, look at all that in
It's really
there.
coming out there.
Yeah, there's lots of pollution in there.
So then you want to come over to this side and spin it round. So what we've done is we've sieved out all the sand. It's fallen straight through the sieve, and what we're left with, I don't know if you want to come around and see it, but I can also show you like this, is all the little microplastics. We've got a few rocks in there, but all these tiny pieces of plastic, all the noodles. And you can actually do this yourself with a sieve, so go ask your mum and dad if you can use their kitchen sieve, and you can go down to the beach and try do this yourself. And yeah, it's important that we keep our beaches clean. We don't want the plastic to end up in the ocean. So.
And also, if you are living in Jersey, Plastic Free Jersey do have kits that people can get involved.
Exactly. So every single parish will have a beach clean kit, and you can go down to your parish hall, ask them for the beach clean kit, and get down to the beach and do your beach cleans. And do it all the time, not just on World Oceans Day.
And in the winter as well.
And in the winter, for sure.
Well, Alex, thank you so much. This is amazing. And do get sieving. Right, come on over, because we're going to do question time now. So keep your questions coming in. This is your last chance. Thanks, guys. It's been amazing. Right, we have got lots of questions for you. So let's get Slido open. And Nicole, I'm going to have the very first one for you.
Yeah.
So here we go. Do you prefer to be in space or down in the ocean?
Wow. It's like asking who your favorite child is, right? Yeah. I love them both, but I think it's just like everything we're doing in space, it all comes back to Earth. And so my favorite is here. And then I like to remind myself that I live on a planet, so I'm in space already anyway, right? But let's call it the ocean.
Jimmy's asking, how fun was it in space? Like, were you scared, or was it just fun all the time?
It was, it didn't matter what we were doing, it was fun. Even when we were responding to emergencies, I don't think so much while you're in the middle of it that you think it's fun. You might be scared a little bit, but after you get done dealing with it, it's all fun. You're floating, you're flying, you're working with people from all over the world, doing really cool stuff that's all about improving life on Earth, and then you get to float in front of that window and appreciate Earth from space.
That view.
Yeah.
Well, lots of people are voting on these questions, and the most popular one, which I think is probably quite a complex answer, is how does the space station work? How long have we got?
It is. And check out the interweb. There's loads of really great information about it. But what I'll say, the biggest thing about the way the space station works is, first of all, if you look at it in space, if you see pictures of the space station in space, it is a masterpiece. It is this gorgeous machine in space. It is the best example of living off the grid that you can find. And the way, number one, that it works is we have done our best to mimic what Earth does for us naturally in that place through the machine to allow us to live and work there. So Earth gives us all the guidance.
I've got this from Celeste from St George's Prep, and she's saying, can you see all the plastic that we've been talking about with Alex? Can you see the garbage from space, or are you just too far away? I think that's a really interesting question.
As astronauts looking through the window, we cannot. But I like to think there's more than astronauts in space that are looking back at Earth, that are measuring the vital signs of our planets. And through the satellites we have in space, through the way we can measure different things about the Earth, we can absolutely detect where the planet or the ocean I can't even talk today, where the plastic that you just so beautifully described in the ocean is. And that allows us to then go work the problem from a totally different perspective. And so many other things that we can measure from space that help us solve the problems down here on Earth.
The space questions are coming in, and I'm going to come back to those in
that's
just a moment.
These guys got it going on,
Someone's asking though, seeing all these microplastics, it feels like a really big big problem. Like, can we actually fight this? Can we be the solution?
I think you got to go back to the root cause of the problem, and that is the manufacturing of the plastic. So I think the first and foremost thing that I think we should all be doing is just saying no to plastic. Just stopping buying plastic, especially single-use plastic that can't be recycled or reused. And if we all start to reduce the amount of plastic we're buying, then hopefully the manufacturers will make less of it. But there are lots of companies around, and also in our OCL community, that are trying to fight this problem by doing beach cleans. There's a big ocean cleanup where they have this massive net, I think it's in the Pacific Ocean, and they're just cleaning up so much plastic off the surface of the ocean there. So there are people fighting this problem, and there are things that we can do individually, but I think first and foremost we need to stop buying plastic.
What do you think, Matt, as you've travelled around the world? I mean, we're very lucky, and looking out on St. Juan's Bay, we've been talking about this today, it's absolutely pristine, but there must be places around the world that must break your heart when you see the plastics that's there.
Yeah, I think we are very lucky here in Jersey that we have very clean beaches. You know, one of the biggest issues with plastic is it actually runs out of the rivers, so it's happening up in the rivers upstream. So the rubbish is being thrown in the rivers and then it's going out. And we've worked with some incredible companies in Indonesia that are stopping it at the cores. They're stopping it coming out of the rivers. And also we worked on a very big project in the Maldives where all the plastic has to be taken to one island, but on the way in rough seas and big winds, the plastic is being blown over the boat. So you do see lots of plastic there. We see a lot. I mean, Jersey, like I said, we're very, very lucky here. But other places around the world, they're having a big issue, but there are definitely small projects that are really helping and making a difference.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Right back to the space questions, because I think there's some people who want to be an astronaut. So maybe actually, Christina, you can tell us, how do people do what Nicole is doing? What do they need? What qualifications?
Well, for the most part, you have to have a science or math degree, right? You have to be an engineer or mathematician or a scientist in some form. And now, if you're a physician, you are qualified to be an astronaut as well. I mean, as we go further out into space, we're going to need every profession that there is, though. So we like to say every job on Earth we are going to need in space. And if you were paying attention yesterday, there was a SpaceX test launch of the Starship spacecraft, and that is going to have the capability to take 100 people in space at a time. That'll be a game changer for all the different types of jobs that we will need. So I'd like people to understand you don't have to be just a technical person to go to space. The other part of it is all your creative skills that you have. This is something we really want young people to understand. Those are so valuable for problem solving and thinking about doing things in a way we've never done before. So if you're an artist or a musician or you do crafts, all of that is super valuable too.
And this question here I think is really interesting. This is from Albie. He's only 5, but he's been down here this week as part of the Home Educating Group. And he's asked, can you get sick in space? Which I think is a really good question. I get quite travel sick, actually. I'm sure lots of people do. So is that a problem for you, Nicole, when you're going up?
You know, I was really fortunate. I was worried about it before going to space, you know, listening to some of the experiences of people that have traveled to space. So I was a little concerned, you know, first getting to space and trying to orient myself in what I thought was down and up, because there is no up or down there, which is what causes you to get sick in space. But yeah, you can. But what's really cool about it is everyone that I saw and have spoken to that has gotten sick in space, just from those little hairs in your ears not doing what they're supposed to do to tell you what's up or down, they might feel bad for a couple days and wish they weren't there. But after those 2 days, it goes away. And then they fly in space again and they don't feel it. It's like our bodies, our brains, our body figures it out and remembers that we had experienced that before.
And by the way, you can get sick even if, like, super fighter pilots who've done 9Gs are some of the ones who got the most sick. So that doesn't predict whether or not you're going to get sick.
Yeah, nothing about the way your body responds down here. So when I hear somebody say, oh, I can't ride roller coasters, I can't be in the back seat of the car, I can't be on a boat, I'm like, do not let that stop you from
That's great,
doing
isn't
these
it? I'm
things.
sure that'll encourage lots of people who sit in the back of that car.
I sit in the back of the car and I can't do it, but man, I love flying in space.
Right, have a quick fire round for you because I've got so many questions coming in. So first one, how long did you train for?
Years. Yeah, that's just
A long
years,
time.
A long time.
Okay, how long were you in space for?
104 days.
What was the name of your spacecraft you were on?
First flight, went up on Discovery, spent 3 months on the International Space Station, down on the Space Shuttle Atlantis, and then my second flight, Discovery up, ISS, and Discovery down.
How many times have you travelled into space? Asked Miss Bolton from year 6.
2.
Oh, twice. Amazing. How hard was it to paint in space? Says Victoria College Prep.
You know, it wasn't really difficult. It was just different. You had to kind of get used to it being different, floating balls of water, all that stuff. But it was super fun, and it was one of the highlights of, like, personal highlights of flying in space, getting to do that.
Mr. Sykes at Jersey College for Girls is asking, you've said that there were lots of amazing views, but what was the most memorable?
Wow. You know, that again, it's the favorite child. It is just Earth. It didn't matter if it was day, night, cloudy. I mean, it's like a work of art out the window. And it just seriously raises the appreciation factor.
Couple more from Victoria College Prep. How do you drink in space with 0 gravity?
We have like the little Capri Sun drink bags, you know, the drink bags and a straw on top and squirt it out. And then we do silly astronaut tricks. So you squirt out balls of water and then suck them out of the air, and that's lots of fun.
Favorite moment?
The whole entire thing wraps up into my favorite moment.
And William says, how is the food in space? I've heard that you can't have any crumbs.
Yeah, you know, the food, that's true. That's totally true, you know, and it's why in one of the videos we have, you see me flipping around a tortilla, because bread is really crummy and you don't want it, it's going to float too, right? So they get in your eyes, breathe it into your electrical equipment. You don't want that happening. So there's not a lot of crumbs. Most of it's in packaged, either has had all the water sucked out of it, or you can eat it right like military rations right out of the bag. But I'll tell you, it's an international space station. We get food from all the countries. My favorite dinner was Japanese curries, and it actually all tasted really good. It's just different. You're not putting your food on a plate because it's going to float off the plate, and so you're scooping it out of the bag, and generally really good. But I will tell kids, if you're interested in food science, how food works, there is a lot of opportunity with respect to food in space.
And a question here, why did you decide to come to Jersey, all the way from the USA, all the way from space, all the way from under the oceans?
I mean, there's such a wonderful connection between sea and space. I like to think there's such a wonderful connection between us and Matt and Tamsin and Ocean Culture Life and Ellie and all of these stories that are being showcased through the wonderful work that Ocean Culture Life is doing. And at the heart of that is Jersey. And so that is why we're here.
That's brilliant. We're so glad that you could be here. I've got 2 more questions. One for you, Matt. Someone is asking, how scared were you when you were swimming with the sharks and diving with them? Was it scary?
Do you know, it is the calmest that I've ever been when I've been diving with sharks.
Really?
It's really, absolutely. Just being under the ocean, but then you're with sharks and they move so slowly and so elegantly. It really is the calmest I can ever be. I have to be in places where I'm taking photos of lots of people. That's stressful. But with sharks, calm, pure calm. I love it.
Fantastic. And last question for you. Some of the children have said what a brilliant time they've had this year. Are you going to do it again next year?
God,
are they able to come back?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have loads more people down next year. We're going to go bigger and better. So I really hope to see some people down here. You can come back.
Oh yeah, you're booked. Can we all come back? It's been so fun. You have been amazing guests. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving up all of your time to be here. Thank you to all of you for watching. Thank you guys for everything that you've shared today. It really has been brilliant. Your enthusiasm and commitment to our oceans really does give us hope, doesn't it, for a much healthier planet. So remember that every action counts in protecting our beautiful planet. So keep exploring, keep asking those questions, and definitely keep making a difference. From all of us for now, bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.